I am. It should be getting started any moment now. The first thing you might notice is that we may call it Mega Man X, but the title screen shows Rockman X, and that's because both players are playing on the J version. Saves about 12 seconds, 11 seconds over the US version in text alone. No gameplay differences whatsoever, and we're off. So typical intro stage. I'm sure you've probably seen it many times now. Lots of mashing. Gotta get through these blue guys that take a lot of damage to get through, but if your mash is good enough, you never have to let go of right, and that's the goal of the intro stage. Up next, we have a couple of Bs. The Bs can offer up 3 different patterns. There's the machine gun B, which Garebear gets. It's the best B, in my opinion. Drago also gets that. It does less damage than a missile, and also doesn't block your shots, which is the other pattern, is a missile pattern. Can block some of your shots. Let's see what they get for the second one. Double machine guns for Garebear, very nice. Double for Drago as well. So very even playing field so far through the intro. You notice both players are down to 6 health. The idea here is that we want to get down to 3 or less by the end of the intro stage, because there's an unwinnable cutscene with our boy Vava. So we'll see how these guys decide to get rid of this last 3 HP. Garebear's going to pick up a bunch more, so he's probably going to... Oops, so is Drago. Drago's going to fill up all the way. Okay, so we got to dump a bunch of health, both these guys. Drago's going to eliminate these cards, while Garebear hangs on to 2 of them to do the task car strat. The task cars can save a little bit of time by walking across the car as it moves right. Ooh, and Garebear's going to have to take one more hit. Neither of those cars... Ooh, okay, there's one more hit for Drago, or Garebear, rather. Drago's got a lot of health left. Garebear's down where he needs to be. He's got a really bad ship, though, so he's going to have to wait for the ship to come back from the left side. Drago gets the second car kill and is going to have to take a punch in the face from our boy Vava in his mech suit. Which is going to cost him a bit of time. Oof, that doesn't feel good. But so we see a little bit of separation right away due to some accidental health pickups, but certainly not inseparable. This is any percent. As we've said many times before, anything can happen in this category. There's a lot of high risk. It'll be interesting to see what safeties, if any, either of these players decide to pick up. It's both pretty strong players, so I would imagine we'll probably see at least a few safeties, but I don't see either player getting the armor. The standard sort of suite of safety items is 2 hearts and 1 sub tank, with players dropping some as they get better. So we'll see what happens. On to Penguin stage. Obviously, the first stage we want to do because the boots are here. Got to get those boots if we want to go fast. So there are some small movement techniques in the bootsless portion here. You'll notice this guy's jumping off of the slopes. When X is walking down a slope, he actually walks faster, and you can maintain that extra speed by jumping near the bottom of the slope. And X will maintain that extra slope speed for the duration of the jump. And I didn't notice if we saw any turnaround jumps, slope jumps, but slope jumps also allow you to jump a little bit higher, which allowed Garebear to reach a ledge in that bootsless section that Drago had to go to the left and use an extra step to get there. So a little extra time saved from Garebear there. But now we've got our boots, and this is where the run really picks up the pace. It starts to look a lot more like a speed run. Garebear going for the no-stop hallway, misses it just barely. See if Drago can pull it off. It's a pretty technical... Oh, he doesn't even go for it. It's a pretty tight window to get the no-stop hallway. The one use of the mech here in the run, ideally, the only time we'll be using this mech is to reach the top route here. And then the snowball section, another pretty intense segment, tough for new runners. Garebear makes it look easy. Drago using the D-boost strat to get through a couple enemies. And pretty solid door times from both players. The winner of this matchup, this is a best of 3. The winner of this matchup will move on to face the God Gamer Nero X2. current Mega Man X2 world record holder. So that's their prize for winning this matchup. Should be fun though. Looks like Garebear's getting a pretty good pattern here from Penguin. Drago's getting the slide now, but more Ice Breath. Looking pretty good. Penguin is invulnerable during his slide, and so ooh, Drago. Ouch. Looked like a missed dash there, maybe. That's what caused that death. Tried to jump over Penguin, but didn't end up with his dash speed, so just landed right on top of him. And that is going to cost him a big chunk of time. He's going to have to do this whole Penguin fight over again. I guess we could call it a refight now. Meanwhile, Garebear moves on to Boomer Kwanger stage. One of the more technical stages movement-wise for the run. Kind of quite a bit different than a lot of the other stages is it's mostly vertical, whereas a lot of the other stages are strictly horizontal. Use a quick D-boost to get up on the ledge there. The laser hits X and the knockback actually knocks him up onto the ledge, whereas you would otherwise have to do a wall kick, and wall kicks are slow. And onto the one auto scroller of the run, the elevator. Garebear's not going to utilize the spike wall glitch. Looks like he's just going to do it the quote-unquote intended way. It's a little dangerous, but not too bad. Those platforms coming down are insta-kill if you get crushed underneath them, so something to watch out for. And onto the outside climb, where you see some utilization of the ice, I imagine. It looks like Garebear's going with mostly charge shots, but it's just as fast. And he switches to the ice here for this kill. Ice is a deceptively powerful weapon throughout this speedrun. You'll notice Garebear's going to use it exclusively through the rest of this climb. The cool thing about ice is that the ricochets that come when you shoot an ice and it hits something, there's like, I think 5, maybe 6 ricochets that come out of it and head the other way. And by utilizing ice correctly, you can actually get a lot of those ricochets to hit the same enemy that the main ice shot hit. And Garebear going for the Kwanger Tango, everybody's favorite dance. Gets it no problem. The Kwanger now entered the teleport phase, where Garebear can just stand in the center of the room and turn back and forth to shoot Kwanger as he teleports around the room. Interesting note about Kwanger is that he's not actually teleporting. He's simply going invisible and moving. And by knowing that, you can sort of gauge where he's going to reappear by how long it takes him to reappear. Because if he's goes invis on the left side of the screen and it takes a very long time for him to reappear, he's going to be on the right side of the screen. So players with that knowledge can use that to their advantage to sort of predict where Kwanger is going to end up, because he moves at the same speed while invisible. Let's see if Drago can pull off the tango here. Looking pretty good so far. The idea here is that as Kwanger drops down to do his headbang, you can jump out of it and shoot him again. And as long as you're close enough to Kwanger in the early part of the fight, his only option is to try to grab you again. Very nice fight from Drago. Meanwhile, Garebear, looks like he only took 1 bonk throughout the cave, which is a pretty solid pattern. There's a lot of randomness involved in the cave here in Stink Chameleon. The small rocks that fall from the ceiling can fall at any time, in any place. And so being able to react to those and dodge them or snipe them with your buster is pretty key to getting through that cave smoothly. It seems Garebear had a very solid cave, only taking 1 damage. And on to the easiest fight in the run. Pretty simple stun lock here when you have his weakness. Let's see if Drago decides to go up. I don't imagine he will go up for the armor. Yeah, we see him passing it up as well. And you see Drago gets bonked by a couple rocks already. Nice snipe there, though. Ooh, 1 more for good measure on the way out the cave, and he's through. Took a bit more damage than Garebear. We're going to add a little bit of separation here. He's going to grab this extra life. That's actually required in 100%, but in any percent lives are usually a non-concern because you shouldn't be dying, right? Ideally. Things happen, though. This is a very, very chaotic category, very dangerous, especially if they aren't picking up any safeties. Your health is going to stay at 16 health for the duration of the run. And that is not very much. Garebear onto Storm Eagle. See if he goes for the cool Lag City climb. Doesn't look like it. You can speed this climb up just a little bit by doing underside kicks on some of these platforms. But it's pretty tricky, so no shame in not going for it. Here you see ice being utilized, as I talked about before. By properly timing the ice shot, the enemy will spawn on top of it while the original shot is on the right-hand side of him, and then the ricochets will all hit him from the inside out, and you can finish those blue guys off in 2 properly timed ice shots. You can also utilize the separation between X's Buster and his hitbox, because while standing, X's Buster is slightly in front of his hitbox, so you can deposit shots in an enemy that way and get some ricochets. But while dashing, this separation between where the shot comes out and X's hitbox is even more pronounced, and you can use it in the same fashion. Here's Eagle, the second of our jerk bird friends. Another source of RNG in the run. Looks like Garebear's getting a pretty good pattern so far. Is Eagle even going to leave the ground? No dives for Garebear. Very nice. Friendly Eagle this time, though he does have another chance to be a jerk later in the run. Drago having a little trouble with these platforms. Once these platforms get sort of out of sync from where you expect them to be, things can get very chaotic, and it's very easy to sort of crash into one of those flamethrowers and fall into the pit. Drago taking it a little safe, but gets through without the very, very punishing death, as the checkpoint is just after those flamethrower platform section. Up next, we have Storm Eagle, or not Storm Eagle, sorry, Spark Mandriller. And this stage is one of the cooler stages, in my opinion. You get to use all of the weapons you've collected up to this point. You see a nice Sea Sting snipe there. Some more of this ice shot stuff I was talking about mixed with Dash Lemons. Meanwhile, Drago facing off against his Jerkbird. Looks like he's going to get a hover here. Hopefully Eagle comes back down. He does, and Drago is also going to get 0 dives. Friendly Eagle today. Very nice. Meanwhile, Garebear facing off with Thunder Slimer, probably the biggest source of RNG in the Mandrill stage. Ideally, you want to see him come down so you can finish him off with boomerangs like Garebear did there, but he did stick to the ceiling for a little bit. So Garebear was utilizing tornadoes, which do a little less damage but hit frame perfect every time. So you can dish out quite a bit of damage while he's on the ceiling by using tornadoes. Looks like Garebear is going to pick up his first safety heart here. This is one of the 2 that I would recommend as the fastest. Oh, I didn't even think about it. Neither runner picked up the sub-tank in Eagle. That is probably the fastest, easiest sub-tank to get, so I don't imagine we'll be seeing any sub-tanks. But with Garebear picking up this heart here in Spark Mandrill, I'm sure he'll be picking up the one in Armored Armadillo as well. So he's going to probably finish this one run with a grand total of 20 health, which is a little better than 16, but still very dangerous with no sub-tanks, no armor. Looks like Drago gets a pretty good pattern, a little bounce, but no big deal. Should finish him off. That last boomerang, oh, gets blocked by the slime ball. Finishes him off with a tornado. Meanwhile, Garebear making short work of Spark Mandrill. Another fairly simple boss, as long as you have his weakness. We'll see if Drago grabs the same heart that Garebear did, or if he's going all out. Looks like he's going down. He's going to skip it. That probably saves somewhere in the order of 2 seconds just by not going for it. For 1, the fanfare takes about a second, and for 2, you get to just move on. You don't have to sort of climb the left wall and time your boomerang shot. So looks like Garebear is going to go with the Mammoth 6th route. Mammoth is an interesting stage in that you can do it as early as 5th in the run. As soon as you've defeated Storm Eagle, you have his weakness and are able to do this stage. quickly with no time loss. A lot of runners you'll see do it last. I recently made the conversion to this route, actually, Mammoth 6, because it does offer one slightly easier stage select. You see some movement here across these conveyors. They're pretty cool. Some of them are moving left, some of them are moving right. Ideally, you stay on the ones moving right as you're trying to move to the right yourself. You get a little speed boost that way, and you try to jump off of the ones that are moving left as they slow you down. And here we see a route divergence. Drago's going to go do Armored Armadillo, which is the next Maverick in the Mandrill weakness order. He's weak to Spark. Flame Mammoth, pretty straightforward. Start the fight with a Dash Lemon, and then try to get these double hits with these tornadoes. Armored Armadillo is a pretty straightforward stage. Some movement sections like this one Drago's moving through right now, surrounded by a lot of cart rides, which are pretty laid back. And I imagine Garebear is going to be doing Dillo next. That's the stage select I was talking about. It's a single input. We don't get a lot of those in Mega Man X. The only other one being from intro to Penguin is a single input stage select. Ooh, Drago's got no dash speed. He's going to have to slide down the wall. Otherwise, that Crusher was going to crush him. Oh, Drago passes up the totally free heart other than the fanfare. So Drago is going true low percent, which is the fastest way to complete this category or game. True low percent. Collecting no upgrades whatsoever. I imagine Garebear will probably be grabbing that heart as he grabbed the slightly slower one in Spark Mandrill stage. Some cool C-Sting shots from Garebear. And Drago facing off against Armored Armadillo. Now this fight is can be a little frustrating depending on what Dillo decides to do. Drago gets the single extra roll, which is not bad at all. When he gets some rolls at the end, which can be a little annoying, but once you've removed his armor, he's actually vulnerable during rolls. Whereas at the beginning of the fight, he can roll for as long as he wants, and you can't remove the armor until he stops rolling, and he's invulnerable for the duration of that roll. Drago handles it nicely. See Garebear jumping up and down on this cart. That's a strategy devised to reduce some lag. If you just stand on the cart, there's a ton of birds that spawn and generate boatloads of lag. So by jumping off the cart, you can bypass those spawns. See what kind of pattern Garebear gets here. Same pattern as Drago. Boss is keeping it pretty fair so far. So they're going to have to rely on skill rather than luck to win this race. It seems, so far, anyways. And on to Launch Octopus. Probably the most dangerous stage of the Mavericks, the 8 Mavs. We got a couple mini bosses to face off with. The first one being a sub, the second one also being a sub, and then a new Tuburo Sea Snake. And the Octo fight is pretty dangerous as well. He's got a lot of projectiles, so ideally you make it out of here into the fight with as much health as possible. And you're almost always going to get blocked there by one of those depth charges, like Drago did. So this is a pretty solid amount of health. This is about as much as you can expect to make it into Octo with. So Drago's going to be in pretty good shape. Octo also has an invulnerable attack similar to Dillo's rolls or Penguin slides. We call it swirlies, laundry cycles. Energy drain is probably the most descriptive attack name for the attack. But when Garebear gets the lag light, that's gonna cost him some time. Ideally, you take out that light so that it can't do that. And there on Drago's side, you see the energy drain attack. Again, ooh, those are going to cost about 3 seconds apiece. Oh man, Octo giving Drago the business. Oh god, this is horrendous. Again? What is that, 5? Holy cow. 6! This is horrendous. Oh, poor Drago. Oh, man, that hurts so bad. And so now, let's see if Garebear Garebear gets a similar pattern. Looking pretty good so far. Octo's weakness is rolling shields, so the idea is you want to sort of drop them over the top of the missiles because the missiles can block them. Same as these homing fishes. But with some manipulation, you can still get pretty timely hits. Garebear makes it through. Only 3 health left, but only 1 laundry cycle. So that is going to increase the separation here quite a bit. About a, 15-second difference or something in the fight, probably. 1 versus 6 energy drain attacks. So Garebear, having finished Octo, is now onto the Sigma stages. This is where the run takes a really sharp difficulty upturn. The bosses start doing a lot more damage. There's more spikes, more pits, more enemies. Some cutscene skips and boss fight skips and stuff like that. So we'll see how Garebear handles all this. Coming up, we do have another... Oh, he doesn't get the Leap of Faith, so he's going to have to wait around for these platforms. When you do have to wait on those platforms, there's a chance, depending on how you do your movement, that those platforms can swallow your dashes whole. We see Garebear taking some intentional damage, because we do have another unwinnable fight with Vile coming up. And climbing the left wall, avoiding the floor, getting the first half of the cutscene skip. When you touch the floor in front of that door, the Vile and Zero will come down and have a small argument. And Zero will chase Vile through the door. But by avoiding the floor entirely, we can sort of mesh these two cutscenes together where, while you see the text boxes going, well, the action is happening. And that's the big time save from the cutscene skip here. Our boy Zero making the ultimate sacrifice to save the day. And Drago, having finished up Mammoth, is going to move on to the... Ooh, and he gets the Tokyo swap. You see the glitched ammunition sprite there. For I think, a single frame, you can swap weapons in that cutscene, and it gives you a glitched sprite. Kind of silly. No real impact on the run, but a little swag nonetheless. Garebear taking a bit of damage here. This is what those extra hearts are for. Had Garebear not grabbed any hearts, as Drago did, he would have died there to 2 direct body hits from Vile. And so those safety hearts are already paying off big time in this race. Meanwhile, Drago taking his intentional damage on his way up to the cutscene skip. See if he can pull it off cleanly. Garebear rather, making his way through the bounce house. This is a pretty cool looking section, but super simple. Simply dash onto the first spring and hold right, and you should get through no problem whatsoever. Taking an intentional hit there so that he can charge up and try to get the double hit. Garebear's in a pretty rough spot here, though. Only 2 health, and this Quanger fight can get a little chaotic. See if he can pull it off, as Drago gets the cutscene skip, no problem. Ooh, getting a little bit of a dance. The dance with missiles is a little different than trying to do the dance with the Buster, because the missiles knock Quanger back further, and thus it gives him an opportunity to stop before going for another headbang. So if you want to try to do the dance with the missiles, you need to hit Quanger, then move towards him a little bit to ensure that he tries to grab you again until you can get him up against the wall. But Garebear makes it through. Going to pick up some health here for safety against Bow Spider. Another pretty difficult boss, especially for newer runners. Drago has a very nice fight. Full health coming out of that, so he's going to be in good shape for the rest of the stage, likely. And Garebear is going to take on Bow Spider here. Bow Spider's patterns are random. Bow Spider starts at the top of one of the 4 vertical lines, and on the way down will cross any green line she comes to. She also has the ability to throw her babies at you, as seen here. And that's going to cost a little bit of time each time she does that. So ideally, we don't want to see those, but it's not really up to us now, is it? That's the second set of babies. But so by taking a look at the pattern that displays and where Bow Spider spawns at the top, you can easily predict where Bow Spider is going to end up and how she's going to get there. And Garebear has no problem. I believe that was a damageless spider, which is very nice. Good job, Garebear. And he will be moving on to Sigma 2. Drago gets a good kill on Quanger, but is charging a little bit during the lag, and those extra particles, or during the explosion, and those extra particles are going to add a little bit of lag. Not a huge deal, but a pretty easily avoidable time loss. We'll see what kind of fight Drago gets here. Babies right away. That's not something you look forward to. On Garebear's side, we have the Penguin refight. This is one of the more frustrating fights of the game. Ooh, and he gets a nice block to the face. Oh, and he gets frozen in the refight. That's not something you see every day. Sigma 2 is a very frustrating stage. Ooh, more babies for Drago. But in Sigma 2, we have both of our Jerkbird bosses coupled into one single stage, and can cost quite a bit of time in PB attempts and otherwise. Looks like Drago's having a pretty good fight here. Is that another damageless spider? Oh my gosh. Good job, Drago. I hear those are pretty rare. Garebear pops his shot a little early, so he's not going to have his invulnerability for this gap jump climb. I was going to be moving on to the second Jerkbird refight. Eagle. We haven't seen any dives from Eagle in this race yet. Let's see if he stays the course or decides to switch it up and go back to his jerk ways. And he's gone. Oh no, that's a hover. Okay, this is okay. Garebear's able to get on the right-hand side here, which is ideal, obviously, because we're trying to progress to the right. And no dives again from Eagle. Friendly bird today. Let's see what Penguin does for Drago. Slides are what we really don't want to see. One so far. I didn't get a count on Garebear's. There's more that went wrong with that fight than just the slides, but I guess he saw two now. I stopped paying attention. Either way, it's a pretty good fight from Drago. 2 or 3 at most. 3 is probably about average, I guess. Rangda Bangda, another sort of random boss. Rangda's impact on the run isn't as strong in any percent as it is in Hundo, but can still have, you know, some time loss depending on what kind of eyes you get. Garebear misses the one cycle on the nose, but is getting pretty friendly eyes here. What you really don't want to see is green eyes. Who takes a bit of damage. Came close to death there. Would have died again had it not been for his 2 safety hearts. So those paying off huge in this run. Oh, and Eagle decides he's had enough of being friendly and is going to take it out on Drago. Expanding Garebear's lead by about 7 or 8 dives here, it looks like. Oh, 6. That's probably the 6 dive pattern and comes down for the hover. Ooh, Drago moves right just a little early. Meanwhile, Garebear takes the safety skip. Take a little D-boost to line yourself up. You drop the sled, zip past the camera lock trigger using the ice sled, and for whatever reason, this game doesn't trigger boss fights when you touch the door. It's actually when the camera is in position. So by not allowing the camera to transition up, we can simply bypass the Armadillo refight and go straight to Sting Chameleon. See if Drago gets a good pattern here from Rangda. That's the optimal pattern, I think. The right side blue eye can be taken down in 1 cycle. Ooh, this is looking pretty good. 3 blue eyes. Should only have 1 shot left on the right eye. If you can get this 1 cycle, this would be a very clean fight from Drago. Ooh, he just misses the 1 cycle. He's gonna have to fire a shot at the right eye and wait for this these walls to close again. Meanwhile, Garebear onto the Spark Mandrill refight. Pretty much the same as last time. Only a very small difference in that you open the fight with a regular ice shot rather than a charge shot. Pretty good from Garebear. And up next is the Octo refight. Let's see if Octo tries to balance the force here and gives him a boatload of swirlies. But Drago's no problem with the Armadillo refight skip. Garebear misses the triple fish kill, the fish manip. Probably popped that charge shot just a little early. But in a pretty good health position for this Octo refight. There's one. Need more Octo. We need more swirlies. You were so mean to Drago. Looks like he's gonna be pretty nice to Garebear here. Just one laundry cycle. So Garebear's gonna maintain a fairly sizable lead, but this does not by any means mean that this race is over, because as we've seen in the past, it all comes down to Big Sig at the very end of the run. A death there is ultra punishing and can easily swing this race in either runner's favor. Drago taking on a Spark Mandrill refight as Garebear takes on Burnin' Nomander and his Flame Cannon. There's a little RNG in the Flame Mammoth refight, as he can turn the conveyor to the left, and you see as the explosion happens, X rolls with the conveyor. So if the conveyor was moving to the left, you'd have to you'd end up all the way on the left side and lose a little time getting to the door. But not a problem for Garebear. Drago's going to pick up the safety health here before Octo. Smart move, I think. I do it quite often if I'd taken any damage prior to the Octo fight. Meanwhile, Garebear taking on D-Rex. Looks like he's getting a pretty favorable pattern. Going to need to avoid that Spark Ball. No problem for Garebear. Almost gets crushed there, but finishes him off. And is going to be moving on to the final stage of the run. Sigma 4. 3 fights away from victory. Well, Drago takes on Launch Octopus again. I think I heard one laundry cycle, but I was watching Garebear's fight. So, much better than the first fight for Drago. Let's see if he takes the top route top off. His health is pretty good. Oh, he is going to go for it. The top route top off here. No shame in his game or mine. I quite frequently take that top route top off. So, Garebear facing off against the first of 3 bosses in the final stage. It's going to be Velgarder, the doggo. The dog has very short iframes, so the ideal dog is a dog that's close to the wall, with X between the dog and the wall, so that you can shoot your ice shots and the ricochets will go off screen quickly, so that you can continue to pump ice shots into the dog very fast. And you see what I was talking about with the conveyor on Drago's side. Got stuck on the left side because of some bad conveyor luck. So, Garebear into the Jedi fight. Pretty straightforward fight for seasoned runners, but can also be pretty easy to miss some shots here. As we saw, Garebear missed, I think, 2 already now. But not a lot of risk associated in this fight. And so Garebear is going to make it into the Big Sig fight with full health, 2 extra hearts. Looking pretty good. Got 20 health. The lightning does 12 damage. The claws do, I believe, 8. Fire Breath does something in the order of 14. So it's essentially 2 hits and dead. Maybe can survive 2 claw hits. But as long as Garebear stays on the right side of the left claw, you should be in pretty good shape. The lightning won't hit you if you're hanging off the edge like Garebear is. Oh, he does take a fall to the ground. The right claw comes over to sort of box him in, but looking pretty good. Almost only 3 hits away. 1 more to go. GG, 33-21 was what I saw on the timer. Garebear takes round 1 of playoff stage round 1 versus Drago. But this is a best of 3. So we do have at least 1 more match coming your way as Drago wraps up his dogfight. Looking pretty good. No damage on the dog. That's always good to see. The dog is probably the highest chance of taking damage before the Big Sig fight. So if you can make it out of the dogfight with full health, you'll be able to survive an attack. But a lot of times you'll take a little damage from the dog, and the final fight will be essentially a 1-hit KO. But that should not be the case as long as this Jedi fight goes according to plan for Drago. And it seems to be going well. Oh, missed a couple shots here, but should be wrapping up with full health. Jedi takes it upon himself to crash into that spark and finish the fight for Drago. So let's get this over with. This isn't even my final form. So Drago's got full health, full ammo, pretty good position. Doesn't want to take damage right away. The claw can stop like it did. Drago realizes and Takes his time. Ooh, does crash right into that lightning. Is going to be only one hit away. Ooh, get up there. Come on, Drago. Ooh, that right claw comes across. Ooh, Drago utilizing the left wall a lot. It can be safe over there, but it can also be quite risky because when that right claw comes across, it comes to where X is positioned when the claw decides to move. So by hanging out on the left, whoa, oh my gosh, this fight, please. Oh no! Oh, he put up a valiant effort, but man, that was a tough situation to deal with. What do you do there? So after taking the death, Drago is going to need to farm up some ammunition here. Going to need at least some sparks for Jedi, and likely some ice and rolling shield for the dog and Big Sig. But looks like he's getting some big ammos pretty quickly, and has got everything he needs. So round 2, fight. Let's get it this time, Drago. I believe in you, man. Takes a spark ball. Oh, takes another dog bonk. So, ooh, and takes a death to the dog. That's unfortunate. But not all that uncommon. The dog fight is pretty nasty. Drago showing his frustration, mashing some lemons out. But looks like he's going to continue on. Should have enough ice, so he doesn't need to farm. But yeah. Okay, already looking way better. Looking like a pretty clean dogfight here. Gonna make it out with full health again. So again, the Jedi fight. Not really any random. There's a small random nature to this fight. You see him blocking right now, and that just means he's going to delay his climb just a little bit versus if he's standing there holding his sword up as he is now. He's going to go up much quicker that way. So it's the only sort of randomness, and it's very minor in this fight. As long as you don't miss any shots, pretty straightforward fight. Ooh, takes a Jedi to the face. Went a little early on that shot, hit him on the iframes, and it's gonna be in a one-hit KO scenario going into Big Sig here. But I have faith. Drago, you can do this. Ooh, a little hesitation there. You could have got up on the claw right away. But ooh, man, that's a rough pattern. Lightning and the right claw climbing across at the same time. Drago reacted perfectly to that. Looking pretty good. Ooh, that lightning was close. Come on, Drago, you got this. Only 2 more hits. And GG. Very nice. Drago finishes up with a 38-15. Not the performance he was looking for, but Big Sig is such a dangerous fight that these things happen, right? So hopefully he can pick himself up, shake off that run, and put up a good performance in his next run. So this is best of 3. So if Garebear wins this next match, he will be moving on to face Nero X2 in the second round of the bracket. And if Drago wins, we'll be going to a round 3. So stay tuned. We'll have the second race up shortly. Looks like our racers are starting to ready up here, so this match will be beginning very soon. In the meantime, I guess I don't really have anything for in the meantime. Good thing, though, because this race is starting very soon. Here we see our little Mega Man dance on the game start screen. And they're off. Round 2, fight. Again, intro stage, pretty straightforward. Just hold right and press shoot a lot. Press jump sometimes too. There are some small things you can do to save time in the intro other than mash faster. One of the strats being all the tacos. I don't see it happening here. You see these guys crushing the road a little bit, and they generate all these extra sort of particle effects, which can generate some lag. So by killing those guys and not allowing them to break the road, you can save a little bit on lag. Both players getting the passive B here. This is not very good because Drago does get a small health, so he's going to be in okay shape. Garebear gets a second passive B and is going to have to kill from the front because had he crashed into that B and done the typical 2-bonk strat, he would die. So it's going to cost him a bit of time. Going to give Drago the early lead in this race. And both runners at about half health, Drago a little less, but more than they need. So they're both going to need to dump some of this health somewhere. We saw Garebear do the task car strat last run. And we'll see what he decides to do this time. Drago takes a little bit of extra health, as does Garebear. Drago destroys both cars again, so I think he'll save this last car, maybe? Is that his strat here? Yeah, he saves this last car to sort of bonk off the last of his damage. Garebear does this task car strat we talked about before, where walking across the car can save a little bit of time. And some good kills on these cars. Looks like a good ship for Drago. Very nice. Ship's not going to have to move at all, nor is it for Garebear. So both good ships. The only difference being Garebear having to kill the second B from the front, causing him to lose quite a bit of time. Oh, and Garebear gets a nice vial where he doesn't have to walk either. You see on Drago's side, vial had to take about a step and a half, where on Garebear's side, no steps. He was able to just grab right away. Pretty tight race so far through the intro. What we like to see here. Drago, I'm sure, is much happier with this intro than the last one. Icy Penguigo. First stage of the 8 maps. Again, pretty straightforward. Some more mashing. Mashing down these, I don't know what they're called, log chucker guys. Utilizing these slope jumps we talked about briefly last run. And just trying not to let go of right until the time comes where one must let go of right to press left. Only to let go of left to press right again. Looks like a pretty good sync right now. Looks like, yeah, there's that slope jump I talked about. Allows you to access that ledge by jumping while walking down a slope. You get a little extra height out of it, so you can reach that ledge that you would otherwise have to go all the way to the left and use another ledge to reach. Time to pick up the pace. Get our boots. See if Garebear can get the sweet no-stop strat here. He does. Very nice. That's a really cool strat. You actually get a double kill with one of the lemons. I didn't really talk about it last run, but dash lemons do double damage. They do 2 versus 1 of the regular lemon. And so by utilizing that same concept we talked about before with the ice shots, where X's buster is extended in front of his hitbox while he's dashing, you can sort of deposit a dash lemon inside of both the jamminger, the purple guy that flies down, as well as the flamingo that is standing in your way, and get a double kill on both of them without having to stop. So that gives Garebear a very slight lead coming into this penguin fight, but the great equalizer, the birds, giving the exact same pattern so far. Looking pretty even. Man, this pattern, identical so far. Oh, no, he went for the hook for Garebear and went for just a regular jump for Drago. But looks like Drago is going to take the lead here in this fight. But pretty good patterns for both runners, I think. That was pretty solid. But just a little bit cleaner, maybe one less slide for Drago, and that's enough to give him the lead out of Penguin stage. Moving on to Boomer Kawanger. Everyone's favorite Kawanger. What even is a Kawanger? It's a beetle. It's a type of beetle, in case you were wondering. This stage again is super like intense movement. Lots of vertical stuff, quick jumps, some zigzagging, some climbing of the ladders. Ooh, Garebear gets sniped with one of those parachute bombs, whatever they are, missiles. And they're both on the elevator, our favorite auto scroller. Take a little break here before continuing our ascent up into the tower of the Kawanger. Now, riddle me this. If he's a beetle, what is he doing in a giant tower? Why isn't he on the ground somewhere? Playing in the dirt? I don't know. But damn, this sink looks good. Notice a little bit different strategy, though. Garebear using the more buster, while Drago using more ice. Both viable strategies. Ooh, Drago misses a cycle here. This is going to cost him a bit of time. I'm going to give Garebear the chance to take the lead here, as he finishes his ascent into the radio tower of the beetle. And he's going to carry a small lead into this Kawanger fight. See if he can pull off the dance here. Pretty straightforward fight. This fight is a fight that gives a lot of new runners trouble. But for seasoned veterans such as these guys, should be no problem. Garebear gets the dance all the way through and is into the teleport phase. Drago's dance is looking good. Oh, he misses a shot, though. Shot a little early. Hit him on the iframes. Looks like he might be into the teleport phase now. His health is still a little high, so he might not be in the teleport phase. And he's missing a lot of shots because of it. Ooh, man. Hard to tell when he's going to start teleporting officially. Only one more hit, and Drago will go down. Oh, man. One more shot to finish the fight. Ooh, close call for Drago. And, but he gets through. But that's going to give Garebear a fairly sizable lead going into Sting Chameleon. The Japanese name for chameleon, apparently. A rough fight for Drago. And that just goes to show how quickly that fight can go off the rails. You see a nice sweeping green shot as Garebear enters the cave there. That's utilized because the green shots travel slower than the blue shots. And so it stays on screen longer and can sort of sweep any rocks that may spawn in its path. Sort of clearing the way for Garebear to progress. Looks like another one bonk cave for Garebear. Very nice. Let's see what kind of stuff Drago can do here. Looks like he got the same bonk. That's a pretty tough one to avoid. Takes one to the face there, but uses the iframes to get through the rock guys. So not a huge loss here for Drago. Just 2 bonks, but able to utilize those iframes. And grabs that extra life again. Avoiding the mech. No mech strats today. Interestingly enough... Oh, I lied. I spoke too soon. Mech strats hype. And he immediately ditches it. More mech strats. Let's go, Drago. Oh. Putting on a show for the fans. Interestingly enough, the TAS actually does utilize that first mech in the swamp because the mech dash is slightly faster and his dashes can be extended slightly longer than X's dashes. It can actually save a small amount of time in a TAS setting. But obviously these players are not a TAS. So the problem is it takes so long to get into the mech and sort of boot it up, right? You get a little cutscene type scenario that happens when you jump into the mech. So Garebear making his ascent on these eagle elevators. I guess this is sort of an auto-scroller, but that's over very quickly. Some nice ice shots again from Garebear. Oh, he misses. He doesn't shoot the last one. He goes for the bonk strat here, which is viable. I've seen many people do this before. Makes it cleanly through the flamethrower. Flamethrower platform section, which can always be a little bit scary. Nice ice shots from Drago here. Going to be in a little better position than he was last time. Takes the bonk strat. And good flamethrower section from Drago. Going to be moving on. See what kind of pattern eagle. He was super friendly to Garebear last time. Let's see if he continues that trend. Looks like he's going right away. This is the 7-dive pattern. This is the worst luck you can get. Eagle can come down after 1 dive and do a hover and potentially come all the way down. But once you see the 2nd dive, you know that you're getting at least 6. And so... Oh, he does get the 50-50 shot, so it's going to save about half a dive, I suppose. See what kind of pattern Drago gets. So he's going up. This looks like the 5-dive pattern. So he's going to pick up 2 seconds here. Each dive is about 1 second lost. He's going to pick up 2 seconds over the fight. Still a close race. Still anybody's race. Garebear moving on to Spark Mandrill, our boy. One cool thing to note about this game, and I always found this super cool, is that certain Maverick stages will actually change depending on what other Mavericks have been defeated so far. Spark Mandrill's being one of them. If you have defeated Eagle, it sort of knocks the lights out here. I think the idea is that Eagle's ship crash lands on Mandrill's power plant and breaks a bunch of stuff. It actually limits Thunder Slimer's moveset as well. You notice you see those little puffs coming out underneath? That's Thunder Slimer attempting to shoot lightning, but since there's no power left, he wasn't unable to charge and can't utilize his lightning attack. Some other stages that get that effect are Flame Mammoth. We'll see next from Drago, I believe, or no, next from Garebear. Flame Mammoth stage gets frozen after you've defeated Chill Penguin. Normally it's lava, becomes ice. Another one is Stink Chameleon. If you've defeated Octopus already, Stink Chameleon's stage will be filled with water in certain places. Nice health drop for Garebear there. I'm thinking he's pretty happy that he got that, because as simple as the Mandrill fight can be, it can also be kind of dangerous with just a small mistake. And Mandrill does a lot of damage when he tries to punch you in the face. I can't think if there are any other stages that change when defeating Mavericks. Is it just the 3? No, I think it is. Mandrill, Mammoth, and Chameleon. A good fight from Garebear. Let's see what the Drago gets here. Small amount of RNG associated with this fight. Ooh, Drago crashes right into Spark Mandrill there. That's gonna put him in a low health scenario here. Have to watch out climbing on that wall, but he gets through, no problem. If Mandrill punches the wall while X is on it, it actually knocks X off the wall and to land on top of Spark Mandrill. And at the health Drago was at, that may have been a knockout. But here you see on Garebear's side the frozen lava from having defeated Chill Penguin already. Utilizing some pretty cool Dash Lemon green shot strats here on the miners. And trying to maximize his movement across these right-facing conveyors. Meanwhile, Drago onto his cart ride. Ooh, takes a little bat bonk there. So gonna have to slow down for this Flamingo. Garebear having no problems with Mandrill or Mammoth stage. Burning no Mander. Our boy. Is gonna be out of the fight. Which again is pretty straightforward. One thing you can sort of do, and this applies to stages where the camera isn't strictly locked into position. You can go for, we call it an off-screen kill. I think the name sort of describes it pretty well. By killing Mammoth, and I think Eagle's the only other one it really applies to, you can save a bit of lag on the explosion because not all of it has to be rendered. But Garebear misses the last double hit there, and thus has to go in for the last hit up close and personal. Well, Drago, no problems at all through Armored Armadillo. See how many rolls he gets from our boy again. They both got one bonus roll last time, which is pretty good. Looks like the same pattern again, one extra roll. He can't open as early as he crashes into the left wall right away. And that's the ideal pattern, but this is the second best pattern. And no extra, oh, I lied. Gosh, I keep speaking too early. One bit of extra rolling at the very end, but since the armor has been removed, it's not an issue. Garebear making his way down past the mole borer. Gonna likely grab his second safety heart again here. Paid off for him big time last race, so I don't see why he would change. Meanwhile, Drago into Octopus stage, everyone's favorite water level. Takes a bit of damage right away, that's not ideal, but gets topped off immediately, so not going to be a problem. Little tornado to smoke the seahorses before they have a chance to get in your way. And our first sub, oh, he gets the sucky suck. That's not, it's always kind of frustrating. You get sucked into the sub and take a bit of damage, but he does get some health, so he's full again. Garebear getting the business from Armored Armadillo, losing a bit of time here. Drago takes down the second sub, no problem. As Garebear finishes up Armored Armadillo after suffering a bit of a time loss. Ooh, that was a good missile pattern, but Drago misses a dash and takes a bonk anyways. It's so common to just either press dash just a little early or jump late out of a dash and not have dash speed in your jump. Drago playing it pretty safe here, waits for the Utaburos to explode completely so that he can pick up a little bit of health. Going to be full going into launch Octopold. Another interesting Japanese name for our Mavericks. See if Octo's a little friendlier this time than he was last time to Drago. There's laundry cycle number 1. Not bad. Only one. Garebear looks like he took a little bit of damage. I didn't see what happened. Maybe he got the suck from the first sub again. Whoa, that was so close to those spikes. Oh my gosh. That's another fairly common death because, as you saw, Garebear likes, most players like to get right in front of the sub and mash out the C-Stink shots to take him down quickly, but that brings some risk with it, in that you can end up on those spikes, and many players have fallen to that set of spikes on runs before. Garebear, his health looking pretty good here for this fight. Shouldn't have too many issues depending on the pattern and his movement. The missiles in the sea fish, the homing fish, do 2 damage apiece, while a direct contact with Octo does 4, I believe. So you want to avoid contacting Octo's body directly, but taking a few missiles or fish here and there is not a huge deal. You can actually utilize those iframes to get better timed hits on Octopus. And no swirlies for our boy Garebear. Gonna pick up a bit of time on Drago in the fight, as Drago makes his way to Flame Mammoth, his 8th and final Maverick. Garebear with a bit of a lead here, but as we've seen many times in this tournament, it's still anybody's race. Let's see if Drago can get one of these off-screen kills I was talking about earlier. As Zero has some inspiring words for Garebear. The pattern didn't really allow for the off-screen kill here. See if Garebear can get the leap of faith this time. Looking good so far. Ooh, he bails. Yeah, he jumped a little early off that second platform. I don't blame him at all for pulling out there. Gonna take... Ooh. Okay, I thought he was going to try to take another one that he didn't need. 6 or less health going into the Vile cutscene is what we need here. Gets the first half of the skip, no problem. This skip, though, does pose a chance for soft locks. So, something to watch out for. You need to hold start at the right time and not let go so that this text progresses quickly. Well, the fight also progresses. Drago does not get the leap of faith either. He's not going to pick up any of that time. His health looks pretty good. It's going to take one more. Yeah, he did have 6. Now he's got 3. That's okay. Drago gets the first half of the skip. Let's see what kind of fight Garebear gets. Vile has those short iframes I talked about earlier with... Velgarder, the dog fight in Sig 4. So a really good Vile fight is pretty fun to watch. He can go off screen though, as there's no walls on this room. So if a player decides to hang out too far on the left or the right hand side, Vile can jump completely over the player and off screen to where the rolling shield actually despawns before it can hit. No problems for Garebear there. Looks pretty good. Full health coming out of that fight. In a much better position than he was last race. Pretty good looking fight from Drago here. Yeah, nice. Quite a few hits pretty quickly there. Garebear's got his full pig charge. He's going to be trying to go for the double hit. I guess we didn't really talk about charged hits. You do get the Buster upgrade that you can't get in the Mammoth stage, and you do in 100%, but in any percent, Zero gives you his Buster upgrade and allows us that pink shot we just saw on Drago's stage, as well as the charged versions of all the other weapons. And you'll see that put to use immediately with Charged C-Sting, probably the best weapon for speedruns. Allows us to simply pass through enemies without taking any damage. And the ideal Quanger fight starts with a charged missile attack with one fish that goes over the top, and then Quanger charges at you. And another fish hits him as his iframes wear out. And charged hits on most bosses do 4 damage versus the regular weaknesses 2. And with bosses having 32 HP, getting 2 charged hits saves 1 hit at the end of the fight, or 1 full iframe cycle, which is 60 frames, or 1 second, as this is the 60 frames per second game. Garebear on to Spider. Getting a few sets of babies here. Nothing out of the ordinary yet. Looking pretty good so far. It's starting to get a little annoying with those baby spiders. It's either 3 or 4 sets already, I think. And there's one more set. Should only be 1 hit away. Nice finish from Garebear. I believe that was another damageless spider. Oh my goodness. Let's see what Drago gets here. Could be able to make up some time. Oh, did he take damage? I missed it. Dang. See if Drago can show us how it's done. Looking pretty good. I think just 1 set of babies. That's an easy pattern there. And Drago finishes the fight. That, my friends, is what a damageless spider looks like. Let's see if Garebear has a little bit of penguin fight this time. He got an ice block to the face and got frozen last time. It's a nice double hit with the charged fire wave. That's going to save 1 hit on the end of the fight. In this penguin fight, if his slides, as frustrating as they are, if they come at certain times, you can actually get 5 charged hits, which in the end will save 2 hits. Actually. But that's not the ideal fight. The ideal fight just gets 2 charged hits and no slides. But if you're going to get a bunch of slides, it's nice to be able to get 5 hits. Ooh, nice utilization of the pink shot. You don't see that very often in the run. Let's see how many slides Penguin gives Drago here. I didn't count Garebears, but they weren't very many. I can tell you that. Drago getting a pretty solid pattern. 1 slide so far, now 2. He's that second charged hit. He's not going to get it. So you see Penguin ends with 1 extra health because he didn't get the second charged hit. Not a huge lot. I mean, it's about a second. It's 60 frames, right? Looks like Garebear is getting no dives again. 3 for 4 no dives in his eagle fight so far in this matchup. As Drago makes his ascent to the eagle refight, Garebear moving through the doorway, the corridor into the Rang to fight. What does Eagle have in store for Drago here? Garebear gets the nice right side blue eye, but an immediate close. Not a huge deal as long as he can get this 1 cycle. Looks like Drago's getting a no dive fight. Nice 1 cycle from Garebear. Finishes off the right eye. Takes down the left eye. Ooh, gets hit in the face. Misses a shot as the eye closes, but gets the kill. Nice fight from both players. Pretty friendly Eagle in this matchup. Only a few dives. In the first fight, I guess this time he was pretty ruthless, but lots of sets of no dives, which is always nice to see. When Drago gets the same right side blue eye, can you get the 1 cycle? No, he missed 1 hit there. Gonna finish it up. It's a moving right or moving left red. Gets a few hits. See if we can get the 1 cycle on the nose. His health is not good, and he takes a nose to the face. And Drago falls. Oh man, that's gonna cost him. I don't know what a C-Sting ammunition looks like. Drago expressing his frustration. Yeah, that's not a lot of C-Sting ammo. He's going to have to do some buster stuff in this fight, which is going to cost him even more time, adding to Garebear's lead. As Garebear wraps up. No problems with the skip. Wraps up the Chameleon refight, no problem. Drago doing some buster stuff here. Mixing up dash lemons, green shots, pink shots, blue shots. We got it all. Probably switch to C-Sting here soon. I mean, the C-Sting ammo is deceptive. I think you get 3 shots for every 2 indications on the ammo. And we get an audio switch, which is slightly jarring. But Garebear with this substantial lead gets the audio now. He gets the nice fisherman. It looks good this time. Very nice. Drago Makes it out of the ring to fight. First try. And is going to have his work cut out for him here. What's Octo got in store for Garebear this time? Maybe we see an infinite combo? I don't think Garebear jumps into it. You can actually shorten this energy drain attack by jumping into it and mashing your way out, giving Octo only 1 health. But that tactic does come with the risk of a soft lock. Not a soft lock, an infinite combo in which you underflow the counter that says, hey, it's time to let go. And then he just never lets go. And it looks like Drago missed the skip. I didn't see what happened there. But he's going to have to fight Dylan. That's going to cost him a bunch more time. Extending Garebear's lead quite a bit. But it's not over yet. Sigma 4 is brutal. And anything can happen still. At 80%. Garebear does have a bit of safety, though. He did pick up those 2 hearts. So he's in a pretty good position, but that things can change very, very quickly in the end of this run. Ooh, gets pinched against the wall there. His health's not in a great spot. One of these spark balls could do quite a bit of damage here, but he gets the nice dodge, finishes the fight nicely. Garebear moving on to Sigma 4. Meanwhile, Drago taking on Spark Mandrill. Oh, you see what I was talking about there earlier? It was on the wall and got sort of punched off of it. Takes a bit of damage there. The D-Rex fight is interesting in that you need to manipulate those boomerangs. And as Valeris asked in chat, the boomerangs can either go up or down. And in that fight, you only want them to go up. So the way to make boomerangs curve up is to shoot them as X is moving up in his jump, or standing on the ground. That will always curve up. But if X has started falling by the time the boomerang gets to the end and has to make a decision, it'll come down towards X. So it's sort of a jump, press and hold jump, and then shoot on the way up, and continue your jump. And your boomerang should curve upwards, but it can be kind of tricky at first. Looks like Garebear took a little bit of damage against the dog. He's gonna still be okay. He's at near max natural health, near 16, maybe 15 or 14. So I think at the current health he can survive a lightning, but maybe not. He might only have 12. It's hard to tell. But gets through the Jedi, no problem. Meanwhile, Drago taking down Flame Mammoth. I didn't see how Octo went. Oh, and he gets the last second conveyor switch, which is always a little frustrating, because now he's going to have to dash all the way across the room to get to the door. But Garebear, 16 shots away from victory here. Let's see if he can pull it off. Gets up nicely. Right claw comes across, but it's not an issue. Oh, he does take a lightning, but he's alive. 2 health. Fire lightning. Oh my gosh, this is tense. Can he do it? Oh, that's scary lightning. That's a scary claw. Oh my gosh. My heart. Please. No. 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 Oh, the right claw trap while the left claw does lightning. And all of a sudden, Drago could be right back in this, because Garebear does have to farm as Drago finishes up D-Rex. We have all of a sudden got a race on our hands. Is Drago going to have the lead? This farm is not going well for Garebear. Is that enough? Is that enough? Drago takes the lead! He's full, Garebear. Go, go, go! Oh man, this is intense now. Drago the first to crest the doorway. See how his dogfight goes. Looking good so far. Dodging. Dodge, duck, dip, dive, and dodge. Yeah. Looks like Drago's going to get the first kill on the dog. Full health still. Garebear gets his dog kill, also full health, with 4 extra health. And into the Jedi. Any missed shots here could swing the lead either way. Either expand Drago's small lead or switch it. There's a missed shot from Drago already. Garebear gets his... That's one of the tougher shots. Like the second one. Oh man, I can't tell who's in the lead anymore. Who's missing shots, who's not. Oh my gosh. Looks like Drago's going to maintain the lead through the Jedi fight. But not by much. This is this is so close. It's all going to come down to well-timed shots not falling off the claw and avoiding any damage. Drago gets picked up there. He's going to start pumping his shots in. 16 shots, 14 now. Drago shoots one into the wall. It's like, oh my gosh. Who's it going to be? Oh man, this is so intense. Oh, and Drago gets crushed! Oh no! And Garebear is going to finish with a 35-39. Congrats to Garebear, our victor. Moving on to face Nero X2 in round 2 of the bracket. And it looks like Drago has forfeit from the race as well, as decided he doesn't need to finish this run. And I guess that's going to be it. So, with that, Garebear moves on. Drago's eliminated from the tournament. And let's see if we can get these guys in here for an interview, maybe. I don't know if we have time or not. Let me ask around. Hello. Looks like we're joined by both Garebear and Drago, our competitors. Good race, guys. That was a lot of fun, especially the ending there. You guys were neck and neck.
Oh, really? On the second race?
Yeah, after you took that death, Garebear, you were farming, and Drago was actually able to pass you as you were farming.
Man, I was so worried about that.
Yeah, so it was super fun to watch. Let's I guess start with Garebear. How do you feel about your races? What went well, what went wrong? Obviously, the death is not the way you want to...
No, the death was bad, but the I don't know. I was really nervous the first race, and I felt like I was playing, I don't know, kind of bad. But I mean, like the heart tanks that I picked up saved me.
Yeah, I mentioned that in the commentary because you did take 2 direct hits from Vile, which would have killed you had you not grabbed any. Drago, you went full low percent, the optimal route. Commend you for that.
I have always said I refuse to take any safeties, so I stick to that, no matter what it costs me.
Yeah, and I don't think it had an effect on. Well, maybe in that Rangda fight, actually. Now that I think about it, but
it doesn't really matter. I explained during the race that I felt really bad. And it was already like that in race 1, but it was amplified in race 2. Nothing would have saved me there, honestly. I feel way too nervous, and I feel really bad about that, because I used to be a person that could take competitive things serious and I wouldn't blink no matter what I was doing. I've always been competitive, but in these races I can't keep myself together. Let me play for a PB, and I promise you I have a sum of best that's a lot better than my PB. I will PB within like a day if I actually focus on it, and I won't blink. I will just mess up a run, I'll start instantly over it and it won't bother me, but I can't do it in these races. I just can't, and I really hate that because I didn't used to be that way, but it is what it is, I guess. I've changed in the years, and man.
Yeah, these races can be pretty tense. For one, I mean, you might be getting more viewers than you're used to or something. I don't know if that's part of it, or just maybe the competitive nature of it, knowing that if I make any mistakes, I could be eliminated from this tournament. It could put a lot of pressure on you. I can see that.
Yeah.
It's not necessarily that, because I used to play table tennis competitively in real life, and people watch that too. But even at that point, I would never like show any sign of nerves or anything. It's just some things happened in my life at some points, and that changed me. And since certain things happen, I can't keep myself together. That's pretty much it. It has nothing to do with the environment. It's really just me.
Sorry to hear that, but I think you put on a solid performance. You showed what can be done and what the run can look like. And you've done a great job with commentary. With this loss, you have been eliminated.
Thank God.
But I don't imagine this is the last time we're going to hear your voice in this tournament, is it?
No. I mean, what would you guys do without me on commentary?
Somebody's got to do it. So thanks for participating, Drago, and we appreciate all the things you've done for commentary and continuing to perform in this tournament. Garebear, going forward with your victory, you move on to round 2 to face the God Gamer Nero X2. How do you feel about that matchup?
Oh man, I don't know. I think that if I play really well and then he dies to claws and I don't die to claws, I have a chance. That's what I feel, but. I don't know how. I don't know. He plays it really safe a lot of the time, right? So I feel like
Nero has been known for his safe strats, both in the X1 and 100% tournament, and so far I think in this tournament, he's the current world record holder for X2 with an incredible 32-29.
Yeah.
So. It's a tough matchup. I'm not gonna lie, but
like I'm probably gonna lose.
Like you said, it's if you put up a good run and Nero makes a few mistakes, it's anybody's race. As is any race in this tournament, anybody can win. So
yeah, for sure.
I know I'm looking forward to it. So, it should be fun. It should be lots of fun. Yeah. I guess that's all I have. Unless you guys got any thoughts, Drago, I guess we'll start with you. Got anything you want to say before we cut here?
Thanks for doing commentary, so it wasn't have to be me doing it myself. No, I mean, good job to Garebear winning today's race, and I hope that the rest of the tournament's going to be a lot of fun. I look forward to doing more commentary. I'm actually happy to be outside of the tournament because a lot of stuff's been going on in real life as well, so I didn't really want to put that much more time into like practice runs, getting everything around there for having to play. So that is also a bit what resulted in today. I didn't really put any practice or so, but I'm going to be doing all the commentaries that I can. So I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah, it should be fun. We got a lot of matchups coming up. Garebear, you got any final thoughts before I start my outro, I guess?
Well, not really. I guess thanks, Walrus, and GG, Drago.
Hey.
Cool. Right on. Thanks, guys, for the show. It was a lot of fun to commentate. I want to quickly give huge shout-outs to, obviously, Feasel and the Speed Gaming crew for helping us put this tournament together and showcasing all of our races on one of the biggest stages in speedrunning. Going forward, it looks like we have just a quick look at the schedule. I see Saturday, January 20th has 2 matchups. Butterfinger versus a regular Ginny at 7 a.m. Eastern. Butterfinger, a long-time runner from Japan, has a pretty solid 80% time in a regular Ginny. Also another long-time runner, been around for a very long time, so it should be a good matchup. And then also Saturday, January 20th, we have at 12 p.m. Eastern, NRG Zam, former world record holder of the category, facing off against Brojman in what should be another interesting matchup. And that's all we have on the schedule right now. But going forward, we still have quite a few matches to do in round one. Let me take a quick look at the bracket.
I think that after this we probably have about 5 or 6 matches left in round one.
Yeah, so it looks like we've got Reeves versus Hazy Perspective at some point, Madu versus Torta Diego, EAB versus Star Surfer. Kazmazotz has already faced off against Berlin Dude and moved on to round 2. We've got Crystal Unclear versus Val, should be an excellent matchup. Darrenville versus
You missed
Miyaki.
Sam and Bridgeman as well.
Yeah, those ones are on the schedule. I guess I skipped Butterfinger and Zam and those guys. Dragonar versus Garebear just happened. Trogdor versus Chalkman already happened. Trogdor taking the victory there, as did Double Stop over Ikaru. So Trogdor versus Double Stop in round 2 should be an interesting matchup as well. And I guess I skipped the top match in the bracket, which is Tiki versus Akitero, which actually Tiki's already said he's going to forfeit that race. So that moves Akitero to face myself in round 2. So
man,
that's what we have going forward as of right now. A lot of good matches to come. The races are only going to get better and better and closer. So stay tuned. I believe the deadline for round 1 is this Sunday, the 21st. So we should see some matches popping up on the schedule. You can check it out. I'm sure there's some links in chat. But from all of us here in the Mega Man X tournament, I guess this is it for now. So stay tuned. Make sure you follow the runners, Garebear and Dragadar Blood Rage, both amazing dudes. And keep your eye out on the schedule of the speed gaming
Perhaps a
tournament.
little bit pessimistic, but still amazing.
Both of them. Amazing runners. So again, thanks Speed Gaming and both of our runners for putting on a show. And I guess we'll see you next time.
bye guys.
Yeah, also don't forget to follow the commentator. He's actually the most popular one in here right now.
Thanks, Drago. Anyway, see you guys next time. Thanks for watching. Peace.
Good night, guys.